fast growth, especially in the last 3 years or so. Some of that's come from developing a leadership team, sales team, marketing team. But today we want to talk about how we used automation to increase the efficiency of the business. This is Daniel Wang. He's been a Producers Club member since 2008. He grew his revenue from 0 to 1.7 million before he stepped away from his company, hired a CEO in 2016, and then started angel investing in automation, artificial intelligence, and robotic process. Jexit was his company. They ended up merging with ITS in August 2019, a few months ago. And Daniel became the Chief Automation Officer, focused on improving the efficiency of ITS using automation and bots. So I'm going to hand it over to Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So anybody watch the Profit, Marcus Lemoner's? You know, this is 3P, right? All the business is essentially the product, process, and the people. We all have the product, you know, MRR, include the phone system, cloud computing, managed service, hardware, blah, blah, blah. You get a lot of product people buy from you. And those products, you have the process, you know, how those processes are sold, delivered, and at the end of the day, you have employees to execute. That essentially, if those 3 areas are great, your business is great. If one of the area or 2 of the areas sucks, your business has a lot of problems. So based on the last 10 years, I'm in the MSP business, talking with multiple business peer group, my personal experience. I would say 90% of the MSP problem is related to either the people or your process. You know, when you first start, you got a one-man shop. You do whatever you want, how you install the Exchange or do the deployment. So you have not much process. You just do whatever you like to do. When you start hiring employees, you have to hand over them something. You tell them what to do, and you start documenting a little bit. But many of the process, either it's bad, it's hard to read, it's not well designed. Then you say you join the Producer Club. Then people are very gracious to share a lot of process from your peer group or from the dashboard. You copy a Word file. Oh, that's a great process. You go home, sit in your wiki, send your file drive. How often you update it? So many of them are outdated process. When your new employee come in and say, oh, this is 2 years ago. Are we still doing this way? Probably not, right? And let's say, finally, you got a great process. You need people to execute it. Robin is talking about the people issue problem with the employee. First, you need to hire the good people, which from my talking conversation with a lot of people, that's one of, a lot of people put them, that's the #1 challenge for them. So you need to hire people, then you need to train them. The training takes time, nobody motivated, and you don't have people dedicated to hold the people accountable. So, and sometimes the training didn't work out, you have to start to hire again. Quality of the job, we're all human beings, we make mistakes, we cut corners. How many times you get the shit hits the fan because the employee didn't follow the process, right? The capacity, you get a good employee, but we work 40 hours a week, have the vacation, sick time, PTO, so the good employee not going to be there all the time. Eventually, we all have the turnover. Some good employee been there 5 years, knows everything about the process, everything worked beautiful, left, start new guy. What's our process? I don't know. He or she was doing it the last 5 years. Everything goes crap. You know, take you a couple of months, finally stay up, start all over again. Wages keep going up. I didn't even put it here. How many people have a lawsuit dealing with the government, the labor law with the employees, right? We all have our fair share. I would say 90% of the problem in your peer group discussion, you can say, yeah, that's the people, yeah, that's the process. So one of our solution, ITS, we're really focused on, we got a couple of full-time programmers last couple of years. We really say, can we use the bots, you know, to solve some problem? Based on our research, everybody have probably SOP, standard operating system, or operating procedure, your process definition in your company. So we look at all those steps in the SOP, we say about 15–20% is really mundane, repetitive tasks. So we say, can we use the automation, some bots, to do those jobs, to replace those jobs, free up the human? Because the reality, human doesn't want to do those maintain repetitive tasks anyway. As you can see here, the bots never sleep, work 24/7, no vacation, no sick time, doesn't take the day off, don't worry about the holiday. It has the best memory, never forget about anything, best attention. You hand over employees 3 tasks at the same time, they scramble. You hand bots millions of tasks at the same time, they just get it done. Right? Never get tired, always deliver the high quality service, rarely making any mistake. And when bots can do it, it almost happens always in seconds instead of minutes or hours or days. Right? And of course, the bots are not regulated by labor law, tax, insurance, lawsuit, nothing. Never give you the attitude. So, and the best part of the bot is you deploy the process once. Set it, forget it. Unless your process change, you go tweak it. Otherwise, it continues run millions of times flawlessly. So overall, we say is by deploying a lot of bots there, it reduce the cost of the delivering the service, increase the response time, or you reduce the response time, and deliver much better quality and reduce hassle with the management. So we have a lot of bots working. So one thing, due to the time, we're only going to talk about the Trigger Alert Escalation bot. So the design we did is we have a bot go into the API, pull out the ConnectWise database in the real time. Everything the employee put into the ConnectWise in real time, we get the data. Then we have a predefined rules, the policies, the trainings, how employees should use ConnectWise. We compare the data with the rules. If we find the violation, we instantly, in real time, send a reminding message via the Microsoft Teams. Says, employee, you did this wrong. Maybe you should check it out or fix it in real time. But if the employee this violation happened over and over and over in a certain amount of time, then we notify the managers. So the manager can jump in, or manager, depends on how many times. Right? That's essentially how this Trigger Alert Escalation bots works. So here's some example, hey, you're supposed to have 83% daily utilization. When you enter the time entry, it should be real time. Your next step, every end of time entry, you should have a next step. Your time entry should not be overlapped. And the ticket, if it's in progress for more than an hour, you probably should reach out to your manager to have a discussion, or sales, or blah, blah. Everybody probably have 100, 200, this kind of what people are supposed to do. And the question is, are they really doing it? And at the back end, you can see there, those are the interface, how you can configure it, change the message, parameters, all that stuff. Here's the live example. These are the real messages we send out. So like the first one, you can say, Irvin, you create a time entry, 718, 705, 42 minutes after the time entry happened. So a company policy is 5 minutes. So within 5 minutes, you finish your job, you're supposed to put it, but you didn't. And if you look at the red box here, we also tell Irvin, this is 6 times it happened, and the company's threshold is 3, 6, 9. So for the third time, the first time you get this, the third time, the Irvin get an extra message that says, hey, it's already third time. You're supposed to pay attention, maybe reach your manager for help. And when it gets to the 6th time, the manager receives a real-time message, basically say, Irvin has trouble to fix it by himself. Maybe you should reach out to offer the help to check what's going on there. Okay, so this is a result. What do we say? We deployed this bot. This is September the 9th. So when we turn it on, it only scanned the message, it only scanned the database. It didn't send anything to the employee. So we let it run for like 3 weeks, pretty much established the benchmark. The ping is creating, no next step for the time entry, average about 14, 15 times a day for that 3 weeks. So that's pretty much the benchmark. October 1st, we started turning on the message sending switch. We said, yeah, let's start sending Vipin the messages. So Vipin's teams, in the real time, every time he put into the time entry without next step, he will receive that message. So the Vipin started, and we provided some training, so why you receive message, what's going on. as you can see, within 3 weeks, not every day has a number, so it's happening about once every 2-3 days. So that's what we expected we wanted to happen. Imagine you have hundreds of these policies in your company, how people should use ConnectWise. And imagine you get all these results for every employee. So eventually there's 100 policy, people are doing the ConnectWise the way you design it, the way you expect it, automatically happen without you go through a lot of trouble. How efficient your operation will be, right? So that's what we do. So right now, we have about 20 bots. We're migrating a lot of old bots to the new one. So right now, involved in something like fixing attendance, time ticket dispatch, time entry. So if I win $1,000, I will share the bot. No, just kidding. So we'll share it for free. The reason we want to do that is we want to group the brain power. We got 20 members, so we can use the bots together to develop what's the perfect process should be. So as I echoed first, if we get the perfect process designed into a bot, then allow bots to help training the employee, hold the employee accountable in the macro time, in the real time, teeny tiny bit, every single thing, just like the chart showed, help the people develop the correct behavior, how they do the ConnectWise. I think that would be great for the operation. The business is going to be really growing and become more efficient, right? So I got my email phone number there. Anyone interested, send me an email. I'll be happy to share this with everyone so we can all get better efficiency. Thank you very much. Yeah.